Hi, I'm Danny and these are my Diecast Disasters. In this video I'm going to be customizing a couple of old Corgis to look like a couple of the cars from the TV series The Saint, starring Roger Moore. The Saint was a mystery spy thriller that ran from 1962 until 1969. The two cars I'm going to be customizing are a Corgi Whizzwheels Volvo P1800 and a Corgi Junior Jaguar XJS. The XJS was actually driven by Ian Ogilvy in the later series, The Return of the Saint. The Volvo was again very kindly sent to me by Nathan in Australia. So yet again, thanks a million, mate. I hope you enjoy seeing it getting restored. He did also send me a Hot Wheels XJS, but I've chosen to use this Corgi one I had. Taking a closer look at the Volvo here off of the turntable. It's nice to see that it's all there in pretty good physical condition, just mainly looking pretty play worn and paint scratched. Got an odd sort of a suspension system under there. That's the first time I've seen that set up. And our Corgi Juniors XJS in a nice green with a white stripe down the side. Again, it's all there in good physical condition, just a bit paint chipped and worn looking. Both good examples to be tidied up and customized. So I'll start by taking them apart. I'm going to use my Dremel to drill out these posts on the Volvo as they're quite small. These Volvo P1800s were produced around the beginning of the 70s, I think maybe 71 and 72. And I can go back to using a 4mm drill for the posts on the Jaguar. One of the wheels actually broke off, the axle just broke while I was prying it apart, so that's a first. It's lucky I wasn't planning on reusing them. Now that they're taken apart, I can use some poly stripper to remove the paint from the car bodies. Here they are. After the paint stripping, now I'll remove the oxidation and any remaining paint that's on them with a wire brush on my rotary tool. There we go, they're looking nice and clean and shiny. I can move on with painting them. I'll start out by both giving them a nice coat of white paint. I'm going to make some cream paint to paint the Volvo using a drop of yellow and a drop of burnt umber and some white. And here it is after a couple of coats of the cream paint and a little bit of detailing there. Now to put these silver stripes down the side, I'm going to use a little bit of decal paper that I've sprayed with some chrome paint. And I've just cut these little thin strips of it here, and I'll just apply them to the sides like any old decal. I detailed the Jaguar by hand. I won't lie, this was really difficult. I ended up doing most of it off camera. Actually, it took me 2 goes, and I have to admit it's still not totally perfect, but it's just so tricky painting those tiny details black on white. To make the iconic ST1 license plates, I've just printed them out on some A4 paper here. They're 1mm high. And I'm just going to paint on a little bit of watered down PVA glue, and then I can position them in place. And once they'd all dried, they were covered with the clear coat along with the rest of the car. Onto the bases now. I'm going to have to use a bit of paint stripper to strip this black paint off of the base of the Jaguar. And here they are a little bit later. I'm cleaning them up with the wire brush on my rotary tool. And here they are now, nice and shiny and clean. So the Volvo base, I've decided just to leave it nice polished metal and give it a clear coat. And the base for the Jaguar was painted black, and then I used a little bit of metallic weathering powder underneath it to bring out some details. Here are the interiors. I'll give these just a little bit of customizing. Here's the Jaguar interior, painted with black and white seats, and I've just done the interior for the Volvo black, and they've both got wooden steering wheels. Here's that weird suspension system for the Volvo, and just pop these old wheels and axles out of here. And then I gave it a nice coat of black paint, and I'll finish it off with a little bit of metallic weathering powder. Remembering, of course, you have to fix the weather powders after you've applied them with some sort of clear coat. And finally, for these shabby looking old wheels, these are the Volvo wheels. I'm going to replace them with these green light ones. And these are the wheels from the Jag. They're not quite as bad, but I'm still going to be replacing them with these aftermarket ones. I think they're green light. So here we have it, all the parts of our cars from the Saint, refurbished, repainted and ready to put back together. You can see the windscreens there, they were in pretty good condition, so I just gave them a good clean and a dip in some self-shining floor polish, and all I had to do now was to put them back together. Both those sets of wheels were easy to install as they just press onto the axles. Before we take a look at our finished cars, let's just take a moment to look back and be reminded of what we started with. Here is our worn out looking little Volvo all the way from Australia. All the parts are there, but it sure has got a scruffy old looking paint job, and those wheels are pretty naff. So let's see if we can make it look like the Saint's car. And here it is, our finished custom Volvo P1800 from the Saint, ready for Sir Roger Moore to jump in and go and do some spying action. It's got a nice new cream paint job, it's been detailed inside and out, and it's got a great looking new set of wheels. I've seen a couple of these in real life. There used to be some where I used to live, and man, they are one wicked looking car. And here is our little XJS that's sort of racing green and white stripe. Again, looking pretty scruffy and chipped there. Not as bad as the Volvo, but let's get it tidied up for the Saint. And here it is, looking much more tidy in a nice clean white. Again, it's been detailed inside and out. It's got a nice new set of wheels, and it's even sporting those classic ST1 license plates. So it was actually Ian Ogilvy who drove this car in the Return of the Saint. Well, there you go. There is our two iconic cars from the Saint TV series. You can let me know what you think of them in the comments down below. Before I go, I'll just welcome all of my new subscribers and say a massive thanks to everyone for all of the comments and likes on my videos. As always, extra special thanks to my awesome Patreon supporters. If you'd like to join them and help support the channel, help me keep making videos like this for you to watch, you can check out my Patreon page. There'll be a link in the description down below. Thanks heaps for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to subscribe and hit the bell so that you get all the notifications and updates, etc. Give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends.